So I folded and I paid to gain access to a 2024 study that I've been dying to read on ADHD symptoms and sexual dysfunction. And I'm actually really excited about this review because what this study is doing is it's building on the gaps so many of us clinicians, researchers, people with lived experiences have been pointing out for years. So let's get into it. This study actually used validated measures, 3 specifically, and found that people with ADHD symptoms were more likely to struggle with feel dissatisfied with them, and experience higher levels of sexual distress. And it wasn't just a little, it actually was able to score a clinically significant difference. But here's where I do need to add something, because while this study is definitely a solid step forward, it's still missing a critical piece, which is the qualitative understandings, right? There is no exploration of trauma, no exploration of the environment. There's no real investigation into the relationship dynamics or the communication struggles maybe those individuals were having, especially if they have ADHD and are under the presumption of neurotypical expectation communication style. And definitely, I get it, because quantitative research is definitely easier to control for variables, and funding often demands clean data sets, but we cannot keep trying to understand ADHD and sex purely through this check boxes and cutoff score approach, especially when the researchers aren't generally ADHD experts or even clinicians, because without that lens, you're missing the very nuance that shapes how this shows up in real life for many of us. So yes, support and appreciate the growth of this research wholeheartedly, because it does matter and it's needed. But I'm also naming the frustrations that we are still pathologizing ADHD from the outside in without asking people what it actually feels like to be inside this experience, and also ensuring that those participants' experience is actually really ADHD and not those other variables that can mimic ADHD symptoms. And that right there is the work that I'm doing. That's where my research is headed. And that's the shift we have to make, because understanding the problem is only half the job. We actually need to start designing approaches and support that actually make sense for the people we claim to be helping.